there, this is Mary Rooney. I'm the prop master at Arizona Broadway Theater. I thought we would start making some crafts since I have lots of time at home and wondered if you would want to follow along and maybe make some crafts maybe weekly. This week I thought we would do some wands, magic wands, because everybody needs a little magic lately, right? So these are examples of wands you can make from just things I'm sure you might have at home. There's a green one, a little vine around it, and a brown one, sort of looks like wood with some gold on it. Here's a maroon, kind of sparkly with a little bauble on the top of it. That looks magic. This one, this kind of icy one, I'm not sure what that reminds me of. Who might have a wand like that? I wonder. Anyway, in a second, we'll get started with some instructions. To make a wand, I tried to use things around the house that I found. I know I might have a few extra things because I'm kind of a crafty person, but you might find these things around your house if you like to make crafts. So a wand would take anything kind of long and round. This is a chopstick. I also use it for dyeing when I do tie-dye and things and poking, so that's why it's all painty. I have here what would you call this? A skewer, a wooden skewer. Sometimes your mom might have one or your dad might have one in the kitchen. And then just regular dowels, just a regular old stick, any kind of thing that's long and round, not too long. And you'll need some construction paper. I have some here. Some glue. Regular old school glue's just fine. Then later you'll need some paint, maybe some hot glue sticks, and maybe some jewels. If you noticed on these, they have kind of different things. This one was like an old earring that I didn't have the match to, so I just put the other earring inside the tube. This one has some magic icicles. This one has a little heart in it. So I think for today, when we make our wand for now, I'm going to do a little bauble in the top. The first thing we're going to do, I'm probably going to be taking my glasses on and off because I'm sort of half blind. Get our glue going. We're going to use your construction paper and put probably, not probably, for sure, put something on your table. I have this plastic tablecloth. Put that down on your table so you don't get glue or paint on anything. You want to protect your workspace, especially if your mom's around. So let's see. I'll do my skewer because it's tiny. What you're going to do is start rolling the paper from the corner. And what I like to do is start rolling maybe about halfway. Hope you can see that. And I start by kind of pressing and rolling with my fingers and tucking it in. And I'm rolling. And I'm not worried too much about, I'm trying to keep it a little bit tight, but if it's not tight, I'll show you what to do. So you're going to roll it around. And I can feel like there's a little bit of air in there. It feels like the paper is getting like too big for the skewer, but that's just fine. I'm gonna roll and I'm gonna concentrate on this end staying kind of skinny. So I'm gonna push it and roll it and push it and roll it. Okay, and this is the cool thing about these wands. Now I'm feeling like this is like really puffy, but that's okay. Just gonna keep rolling. Try to fold it and squish it if you can. Probably get a little glue on your fingers. Ooh, I got a lot of glue here. I'm gonna take a little bit off my paper towel. All right, so I have a little bit of glue that I'm gonna kind of And then I'm gonna pick which end I want to be the skinniest end. I'm thinking this one because it already has a little point, which I poked in there. So now I'm gonna squeeze it, and it really, the more wrinkles it has, the cooler it's gonna look. It's gonna look more like an old stick if you have lots of wrinkles in it. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of, you know, not so many wrinkles here. It's fatter up on the top, and then I'm squishing it and squeezing it and twisting it just a little bit on the bottom so it stays kind of pointy. Hopefully you can see that. Now, you're gonna lay that on your plate or something just so that it dries. I already have one that's already dry, right here. And then what you're gonna do is, you see how it's kind of pointy on the top? Once it's dry, you're gonna just cut it off. I already cut this one. Snip. Then we're gonna get your hot glue. Squish a bunch of hot glue in the top of the top that you cut off. Squish. I'm gonna use a lot of hot glue here. And what it's doing is, because the stick starts here and then ends about here, so there's just air in here. So I'm kind of just filling it up so it feels a little bit sturdier. Once I get that kind of full of hot glue, I'm gonna take my bauble. I just found it in my little bauble box. It even has still a little wire on it. I don't care, I'm just gonna stuff it in there. Stuffing it in. Glue, and then see how it's gonna sit right there. And as that's cooling, be really careful with hot glue, okay, you guys, because it can be really hot. In fact, if you have a setting on your hot glue gun, I would make sure that it's on low. It takes a little bit longer to glue things that way, but it's much better than burning yourself. And if you're really little, like first grade, under, maybe even second grade, maybe your mom can help you, or your dad, or somebody else, your auntie. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to seal everything in with my hot glue. I'm holding it way down on the bottom. I'm just gonna put some glue around that bauble that I put up there. And this is where you can have a lot of fun with prop making. When you're making a magic wand, or any kind of stick, maybe you need an old person's cane or a tree. This, you know, this kind of process works for everything. What I'm doing is I'm adding texture to my smooth tube. That's going to help make it look like wood. So with your hot glue and holding your hand way down at the bottom, you are just gonna decorate this thing with globs of hot glue. You could make patterns if you wanted. You could make like a ring. You could make letters. You know, maybe you want to write your name in hot glue. Mary. I'll put an M and a P for proppins. It's gonna be hard to see. Now maybe you want like a little knot hole, like it's from a piece of wood, so you could make an oval with the glue. Just have fun, be creative. I just made a little oval. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Don't worry about the strings. All right, so you're just decorating. Adding texture is what we're doing. I'm trying to count how many sticks of glue I'm using. That was 2 already. Come out. Yeah, you know, you can make it really drippy. Sometimes when I'm doing props, I want to make a candle, and I use a tube like a PVC pipe, and I add a whole bunch of globs of hot glue on it, and I spray paint it all white or kind of cream colored, and it looks like a wax candle dripping. I love making props for the theater. But you can make props at home for your own, you know, plays that you might do at home right now. So there we go. I've got lots of hot glue glommed on there for some texture. And I'm gonna switch modes, let this one cool. Find the one that I've already done. And now we're gonna paint that black, okay? It's good to have just a base coat. You know, if you don't have black, you could do brown. Something dark makes the other paint that you choose kind of contrast, and it's just like a base coat. It just helps color it better. Makes it stronger color behind the color that you put on. Oh, I don't know what that means. Anyway, give your wand a nice base coat. You see how it's got all the texture, you can see it. Once that's dry, you're going to pick a color to paint with. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just paint my wand. This is after the black layer has dried. Let's see what happens. Ooh, it's pretty pearly. Okay, so you're going to paint, paint, paint. Any paintbrush will do. I kind of like a softer, kind of round one. This one isn't even a very good one, but then you can kind of jab it into the texture. You see how it's turning out? You can really start to see the texture. I'm trying not to get paint on the bauble, on that crystal. Jabbing it in there. When you get to a point where you can't hold it without getting paint on your hands, here's how I like to dry it. This would be good for the black paint too. I have a paper towel tube with paper towels on it, so it's a little bit heavier, it won't tip over. And then what I do carefully is I stick it right down in there. I'm gonna dry. Once it's dry, you'll be able to take it out and paint the bottom end. Like it's drying pretty good. I took a little break. Now we're gonna paint the bottom. Finish our color of red. And while that's drying, I thought I would show you another way to put texture on your wand. If you don't have hot glue, you can use a piece of tissue paper, something thin. Maybe just do a strip. It doesn't have to be cut, you can just rip it. What I like to do with something that's kind of thin, like, well, this one isn't too thin, but it could use some texture. We don't have any on it yet. I take my school glue, paint around that bauble. Get a good ring of glue. And then what you can do is kind of squish the tissue on, kind of like, I'm sure you guys have done this before, like paper mache. You know, just kind of squish it. Once I squish it, I like to add some more glue. Can you hear that? That's my dog Stella. She has very long toenails. She likes to check up on me now and then, so when you hear that, it's just Stella. Say, hi Stella. Click, click. I need some more glue in that bottle. There she goes, just checking on me. She heard me. She's getting very old. Alright, so It's a way. This is how I did the green. See how that viney thing is on there? That's how I got the green vine. I painted it so it could be any color. But as I go around, I start twisting. Twisting and twisting, making a little rope of it. And then I glue it on. I glue it and I glue it and I glue it. Keep going. So you could do that all the way down. That's a way to add texture if you don't have hot glue. Or if you're doing a really big project, hot glue is going to be too small of an area covered. I'm pretty sure at Arizona Broadway Theater, we've done this like, when we did probably Tarzan, we wrapped big pieces of paper, like craft paper, brown paper and white paper, big pieces, and we would roll them up like ropes and glue them onto a big tube, and we made giant trees for Tarzan, the same exact way as we're doing this. So you can make lots of props and scenery with this technique. All right, and then I just keep gluing it. I'm going to stop with that one and show you one that I've already done. This one I kind of wrapped back up. And once that's dry, that's ready to paint too. And when you get everything dry, let's see, I started here with this brown one. You can take another contrasting paint and add a different color. This one's gold. And the more layers you add of the extra paint, it's going to get darker and darker. It's going to be really cool. Let's see if we can add some more gold here. It's a little brush. And I'm only trying to paint now, I'm just trying to paint the glue marks. I'm not sure if you can see that. And this one I painted with glue on the glue marks, and then I put glitter on it. So you can add so many different things. You could wrap wire around your wand. So many things. I'm hoping that we're going to be doing crafts every week for a while. And if you make a wand this week, can you post a picture of it for me? Maybe at the Arizona Broadway Theater Facebook page? And when I get the red one done, once it dries and I'll get it all sparkled up, I'll add that. I think this should be fun. And then we'll see what we want to make next week. All right? So have fun making your wand.